Everybody was kung fu fighting. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell. This is the Wednesday night Women's Wars. Yeah. We are bringing you all the action from NXT, NXT UK, and AEW. My name is Joey.
And I am Moxie Molly, the interdimensional Shiro. And I cannot go another moment without saying congratulations to my co-host Joey, who yesterday, on Spooky Day, got married.
I did. I'm officially off the market.
He always has been. Now it's just official. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Ring the bells. Get it? Yeah.
Yes, I drank so much yesterday, but I am married, I am happy, and I've got my Britney shirt on. Let's go ahead and jump into this review because we've got a lot to talk about this week. Can I say, I don't think the Wednesday night Women's Wars anymore is against NXT and AEW. I think it's officially the two of us against DS and Paloma because we've got the better job, guys.
I mean, yeah. We are definitely reviewing the more lively content.
Let's go ahead and jump overseas, head on over to the good old UK because this week on NXT UK, we got a tag team match with Piper Niven and Rhea Ripley teaming up against Jinny and Jazzy Gabert.
And I cannot go another moment without pointing out that once again, my co-host, the Notre Dame of women's wrestling, called this match about 3 weeks ago.
I did. This week we saw a tag team match. It was obviously been in the works for a while. These four have been kind of at each other's throats. Props to Rhea Ripley for being on both NXT brands this week.
I know.
As far as the match went, really fun.
I mean, there's nothing else to say. Aside from fun, it was like really, really solid. I love Jazzy Gabert. I love everything about her. I've like had private conversations with Joey about how much like hope she gives me and body confidence she gives me. But aside from that, like she's just owning being like a different type, like not doing that Nia Jax thing, but like I'm different or whatever like that. Like be whoever you want to be, but like she's definitely owning being different mixed with Ms. Jinny, like
Miss Jinny.
Yeah.
I cannot sing enough praises for Jinny.
The very first week we had this and you sang her praises, I wasn't feeling it, but after last night's match, I'm feeling it.
Everyone knows I'm such a Alexa Bliss fan. I feel she kind of pulls off the attitude that Alexa Bliss wants to pull off a little bit more than Bliss does.
Alexa Bliss, I feel like you feel like she's portraying attitude, but she's still like a sweetheart at heart. Jinny, I'm not saying she's not a sweetheart in person, but she's not like, her attitude feels like genuine.
She's the Posh Spice of NXT UK. And overall with the match, I really like the spots where Rhea carried Jinny back into the ring, up the steps, like, oh, girl.
Jinny is most definitely the smallest person in that ring, but that set aside, I still think it just shows the sheer power of Rhea Ripley. This is my brutality.
Also, speaking of power, the power that Piper Niven used to give a Michinoku driver to Jazzy Gabert with almost ease.
Yes.
Wow.
Piper is kind of a different type of wrestler and a different body type and just a different, sort of person than we're generally used to seeing in any WWE sort of arena.
Yep.
But we didn't see her a whole lot in the match, and I'm just hoping that means that they're saving it for, like, more.
I don't like Piper. I don't. And it's not because of anything specific. I just don't find her that exciting in the ring. She does some very impressive moves. She does a lot. Like
the one we were just talking about.
Yeah, and she's a really good wrestler. She looks great. It's just something about her. It's just kind of like,
I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, when you pick your favorite wrestler, it's more because they have made some sort of an emotional connection with you. So maybe she's not making an emotional connection with you, but she makes an emotional connection with many other people.
I hope she changes my mind. She put on a heck of a good match. I said heck because I'm being nice to the children that watch this channel.
We have children that watch this channel?
Yeah. Overall, solid week for NXT UK, but you ready to hop back over to the United States?
We're here, why not?
Yeah!
Later this month, I'll be in the UK wrestling. For those of you that don't know, we live in the Chicagoland area. Here's a fun fact. It's blizzard on freaking Halloween, and so I drove 2 hours on icy roads to get here because I love you all so much.
I got married yesterday, and I'm also not feeling well.
He's like doing this hungover, so shade in the comments if you want, but now you know how much you truly mean to us.
We love your hearts. NXT this week, we had another double dose of women's action.
Lots of time for the ladies on screen.
We'll cover the opening match, but then we'll talk about time in the next match.
Yes.
Because that tag team match this week was long.
I'm loving it.
Our opening contest for NXT this week was Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai in yet another astounding match. I don't know if you can call it a grudge match. You really can't, because Io wins all of them.
The many grudge matches that Io is going to win is leading up to something that, surprise, surprise, in the wild world of professional wrestling will lead to Tiny Candice winning something jaw-dropping.
Ooh, if Candice won WarGames? Ooh, I'd be down for it. Overall, this match was a lot of fun. They're almost on that same level of, I'm a little bit tired of just seeing them face each other, but it's kind of that Becky Charlotte. I don't want to see them fight again, but the match is going to be good, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so the way I think this is different than when we were saying we see Shayna Baszler a lot, which is a technique in wrestling, shows us the same moves every single match, just in a different sequence. What I think is keeping Candice and Io fresh is they have those handful of moves that we see in every single match, but they give us something new. So it's not just like, okay, we know what's coming next. It's like, ooh, that was saucy.
Actually, saucy is a really good way to describe Io's new character.
Right.
She's saucy. Pour that prego for some Io.
Oh,
Because she's saucy.
we got a new ring entrance song for her.
Prego. Overall, really good match. The finish was Io pulled a chair. She hit the chair. Nice roll up. Good solid finish. It set up for what happened later in the night. Everything's kind of set up to this. It's been kind of fun.
What we've been saying the past couple weeks is we're seeing not just a lot of time for women and more spots for women to wrestle, but they're really killing it with giving us storyline without having to like open every single show with like a 30-minute promo. Like, they're giving us a storyline in a different way.
Let's go ahead and dive into the, highlight of the women's division. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships were defended on NXT for the first time ever.
Herstory making.
But the Kabuki Warriors came back to NXT and the crowd ate them up.
Yes.
They were all for them, which, was to be expected.
Yeah.
They went up against Team Kick, Dakota Kai, and Tegan Nox.
I think someone said in the comments, could we review the actual matches more? But I can't put into words how I felt about this match. Asuka wasn't utilized for so long, and what we saw last night is what I knew. Well, she can be even better than she freaking was last night, but it's what I knew she could do, what I know she could do. I'm a fan of hers, so being able to see her last night, I don't know why it was better than I've ever seen her on Raw or SmackDown either.
They gave them time. That was such a long match. She had time to really develop and show exactly what they can do, and Kyrie too.
Yes.
I have only one qualm in the match, and that was I think they put the heat on Dakota for far too long. I was waiting so hard for Tegan's hot tag. I was just like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Let her do it.
Side note is afterwards on Twitter, I believe it was Rhea Ripley, even though they kind of are at odds in the storyline wise, on Twitter, Rhea Ripley shout out to Dakota, you are one of the toughest mugs I've seen and faced in a while. She was even Rhea Ripley was
she did get
enamored by this match. It's not just that she got the crap beat out of her, even though she did, she was still just serving us kicks, I don't know, she just
I love that scorpion kick that she does.
Yes.
That scorpion kick.
I want to learn how to do it, and I'm gonna steal it.
Get a shorter vertebrae. That's the only reason I think that she can do it, is maybe her spine isn't long enough, because I'm the human body shouldn't bend that way. That's not how life works.
This is very random, but because we don't see Kairi Sane on NXT, she's serving me so many fierce vibes. You're seeing a whole different wrestler. And it's not that she wasn't amazing before, she's just amazing in a different fierce way. And I'm digging it.
I dig it a lot too. And take note, she went from a very bubbly, happy, loving personality to a vicious, bitchy, ready to kill
even her
heel.
moves she sets him in
Yeah. Bailey, take note.
For anyone that hasn't been watching wrestling their entire life, that is what a wrestler is. That's what you have to be a professional wrestler. These people that are I only work face or I only work heel, that's cool, but you have to have
character
Yeah.
and personality. Your gimmick can't just be, I'm a dentist.
Well, I don't know if I'll drink to that one, but you have to be able to do both because there's always a battle of good and evil, be it between a heel and a face or just inside the person.
Going back to the match, I think it was very solid. I loved every second of it. I had a little issue with how long it took to get that hot tag, but once she had it, it picked right back up. It was great. And then, of course, it was the green mist that did everyone in. Got Dakota with the green mist, and I loved what happened because she fell on her face.
Yeah.
And then Kyrie delivered the insane elbow and then rolled her over and essentially just sat on her face to block the ref's view. Mauro Ranallo went nuts about it on commentary.
He goes nuts about everything. I love him.
I went nuts for it. I was like, that's so smart. I love it. But then...
Bum, bum, bum.
I'm so excited because we then got the bum rush of Shayna Baszler came out with the other two.
The other two. Which I do have to put in, we always go the other two as if they're not playing a role. When they came out this week, both of them were kind of actually doing their own thing, like, not just like, meh. Like one was like, come at me, and one was still kind of just playing the cool, but like in a different way. Like, I feel like that match gave them the confidence to try to start to step up and create their own goony characters, not just their goons, but they're figuring out who they are as a goon.
Well, I hope they do, but until then, they're just the other two. Shayna Baszler came out with them, and they were all set to just beat the crap out of Dakota and Tegan.
Tegan freaking tried to take him down by herself.
Yeah, she was
That was
ballsy.
pretty amazing. Like, because as Dakota got more of the SHIT kicked out of her in the match, I think it kept Tegan fresh to be like, wah, 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 kick.
They got the best of her, as 3-on-1 situations do, and they set her up for the, I don't know, the arm stomp or whatever, which Tegan was selling the heck out of. Yeah, I was like, don't do it to her. No, like, I didn't want it to happen. I'm like, I love when wrestling makes me do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to happen to her. Who comes to save the day? Rhea Ripley. This is my brutality. I love her so much. She's great. She's only 23. What the wow.
Yeah, I know. What have I done with my life?
Right. Right. Of course, that triggered EO to come out immediately. Although, one side note, I loved when Rhea came out and the only person she acknowledged was Shayna. Mm-hmm. Like, that was it. And that, I was like, that's really good that you can do that from the ramp. That was impressive. EO was followed by Candice, who was then followed by Bianca. Didn't make too much sense on why. I guess she was just kind of like, you know what, if y'all bitches fighting, I'm fighting too, which is great.
She's the S.
Yeah, she is the EST of the NXT. Bianca Belair. All out brawl breaking out, everyone fighting, and then William Regal came out from his perch.
His perch.
He does have a perch now. He reminds me a little bit now because he is older. He's like those two guys, Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets.
Oh my god.
When he broke them up, the crowd was really into it. The crowd was already chanting WarGames, and then he's just like, WarGames!
WarGames!
WarGames! I loved it. I'm so stoked for this match. WarGames is traditionally 4-on-4. There was 5 on the heel side because of the other two.
You're right.
And there was 4 in the ring, so I'm wondering if they're going to have to like decide which of the two are going to be in the match, or if they're going to pull out another girl. But I'm trying to figure out who it would be on that side.
You know, there is no more wild card rule, but they could always just have someone visit from a different brand. That's a champion or something.
Or they could just have someone move to NXT like Finn Balor did. It would make absolutely no sense, but she hasn't appeared yet since being drafted. Where's Miss Alexa Bliss?
Oh?
That's a thing.
Oh?
And she's a big star. They could bring some power to it. Although
I would love to see her and Candice LeRae go at it.
They could bring in like Xia Li.
I was actually thinking Xia.
She seems like the only, unless they bring in a completely fresh face.
That's...
Who are you thinking?
When is Shotzi?
I was thinking Shotzi. It could be Shotzi. You've got Santana. You've got Chelsea Green. That's Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah.
There's a couple other people you could pull out.
Also, I'm available.
Moxie Molly in the WarGames. Make it trend. Hashtag Moxie WarGames.
Yes.
Let's move on to something else I'm excited about because I finally have a match in AEW that I enjoyed thoroughly.
Sound the alarm. It's like that Nicki Minaj song, but I sing it in the really wrong. Oh, really?
Pound the alarm.
I think it's the lack of sleep.
AEW this week, we did have only one match, which is still kind of irritating, but at least it was a phenomenal match. Hikaru Shida, and she faced off against the debuting Shanna, who I've heard about on the indie scene.
Yes,
but I haven't really seen her work.
I've seen a couple of her matches because, as I mentioned, I'll be in the UK later this month. She wrestled several times for British Empire Wrestling, and that's the same European Fed that I wrestle for.
We saw them put on a heck of a match, y'all. Like, I was very impressed, and I'm starting to think that, honestly, with this match coming out, I knew nothing really about either of them, and I was just kind of floored by how fun and impressive of a match it was. I'm starting to think I don't dislike what AEW is doing with the women's division. I just don't think I like Britt Baker.
Ooh.
This week, boom, I was all for it. That knee, she stepped up on that chair on the outside.
Oh, that's what I was gonna bring that up.
Oh.
I loved it. It was so creative because you could even hear commentary say, like, you know, if she goes to use that chair in any way as a weapon, mash over, disqualification, and then, like, with a smile, she's just like,
oh, and I was like, oh my god, her face is gone. Her face is gone.
I mean, her face was still there, though.
It was still there. I was surprised. Overall, the match, I was in it for every single falsie at the very end. Like, they were killing each other.
Although we've seen her before, we've only seen her once, and I don't know that I dislike Britt Baker, but we have seen her so much. I think another thing that added to making this match so spectacular is this was like Shauna's first time on national television. Mm-hmm. And so I think when it's someone's first shot, like, you have that natural sort of genuine energy that just radiates off of them.
That's true.
So that just forces you to create an emotional connection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not taking anything away from either lady. The match was amazing.
I am.
The match was amazing, but I think it added to the match that it was the first time seeing her.
Every part of the match, I was just into it. I was invested. This is what I need from a women's division. This is what I've been waiting for. I've been kind of bored with the matches that I've been seeing. I've been honestly a little bored with Riho, and maybe it's just because she hasn't been stuck with competitors that are going to elevate her.
Yes.
This I'm invested in.
And
I want to see more.
Either one of these competitors, I think, could elevate Riho.
Mm-hmm.
So, who got the win?
Hikaru got the win.
Yes.
After a lovely, just series of back and forth of just bam, 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 and it was so good.
And then the lights went dark, and we were met with a video package, and Brandi Rhodes is a witch. Okay.
Yeah, she's a witch now. Brandi Rhodes is now a witch.
All right.
think.
We think. I mean, I think it's had something to do with the spooky season. I did see on her Instagram, she had like this emo looking photo, and she was like, I'm taking time away from being ringside with my husband. So obviously that's a throw to she's going to be...
witch.
No, I was going to say being in the ring more.
She's a witch.
But she's a witch, and I guess her spirit, as a witch, she's conjured Awesome Kong, and maybe their spirits are melding? I don't know. That's kind of what I took from it. Like, maybe they're going to be a tag team, or maybe Brandy's just going to be valeting Awesome Kong.
Rhea, what up, girl? Love you.
Sorry.
Brandy's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch, we think, maybe.
I don't get it.
I don't know how witch goes with Awesome Kong. I guess I'm willing to find out.
Boom. Speaking of boom, boom blast moment of the week.
What was yours, Joey?
My boom blast moment of this week was that knee strike with the chair that Hikaru delivered to Shayna, because I was just, of everything that happened this week, that got me like,
And
well,
it's
bravo.
not something you usually see a chair used for.
No.
Like, it was very creative.
It was creative. I loved every second of it. Thank you.
And you know what? Honestly, when I watched that match, that was what I had in my brain to be my boom blast moment. But because we chose to also review NXT UK, I came up with something different, which is good. Rhea Ripley, you literally see her head hit the ring apron. You see her grab her head. Commentary points it out. Her other two girls kind of look at her like they're trying to, be in character, but also look at her, and she just kind of like stumbles a little bit of a step, stands up, throws freaking Jazzy like back in the ring, like just probably has a concussion, but just does the damn thing, gets up like a true professional, throws her in the ring, Piper scoops her up for the win. Like,
impressive.
Like, not only was Piper's strength impressive AF, I think the professionalism and strength of Rhea to like I said, like rattle yourself and just get right back up because the show must go on. She
a combination of professionalism and strength.
Right, exactly. And strength and
it.
professionalism in many different ways. And so, I don't know. I think that we don't necessarily see that as much as we should. That
like
emotional moment is so important to her for the finish. She just like does the damn thing, throws her back in so we can have this huge pop. Like,
it's because she's Rhea Ripley.
Thank you for giving us something that professional wrestling needs. And that is why we say she's one of the goats.
She is a goat. Moxie.
Joey.
Where can people find you?
Right now I'm sitting at your kitchen table.
Yes.
But if they're looking to find me on social media, you can find me on all social media platforms. That includes Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as Snapchat at the Moxie Molly. That's TheeMoxieMollie. And I think someone said they would love an intergalactic Shiro shirt. It's interdimensional, friend, but if you go to my Facebook page, you can find all my merch for sale there. And look out for my YouTube channel too.
Yes, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Joey_Mayberry or Joey Mayberry on TikTok. And also, I just got married yesterday, so if you would like a link to my wedding registry, let me know.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much, and thank all of you guys who have reached out to me. It's been I'm truly blessed and truly blown away by how many people reached out to me. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week for another edition of the Wednesday Night Women's Wars. What? See you guys on the flip side. Wow, that was. I'm gonna
I
not
don't know
talk
how to end
anymore.
this.
I'm
What do I do
hungover.
with my hands?
We say bye. We say bye.